For the rest of a big chunk of this chapter, now we're going to transition to linear things. When we're talking about linear things, one of the very, very important concepts we talk about is slope. Okay, so we're going to take just a mini lesson here to review the concept of slope, because there's various ways that you can do this. Okay, when we're thinking of 2 points, okay, here's kind of the formula that we end up thinking of when we're looking at points, okay? Y2 minus y1, so subtract the y's and divide that by subtracting the x's, okay? So if you're thinking of this, here is x1, y1, x2, y2, okay? And all you have to do, subtract the y's, subtract the x's. So subtract my y's and subtract my x's. So here, what does that give me? Well, 4 minus 7 is a -3. -2 minus a -3, well, double negative there means adding. So -2 plus 3 is 1. So here, my slope would just be -3. For this one, x1, y1, x2, y2, subtract those y's and subtract the x's. 1 minus 1 is 0. -3 minus, or -4 minus 3 is -7. Well, 0 divided by anything just stays 0. So that is going to have a slope of 0. And then finally, our last one, x1, y1, x2, y2, subtract the y's, and subtract your x's. 1 minus a -3, well, that double negative turns to a positive. 0 over, now 7 minus 7 is 0. Now, here, hopefully you remember, this actually causes us a slight dilemma because you know you can't divide by 0, right? So having a 0 on the bottom is actually a huge, huge issue. Okay, so we actually can't just leave it like this. We actually have to say that the slope is undefined. Okay, that's a very common mistake I see in classes. Some kids would just leave it as 4 over 0. You never want to do that. Don't leave a 0 on the bottom like that. Okay, write that as undefined. So here, now you can find the slope between 2 points. The other way that we learn to do slope is thinking of it as rise over run. That is more of a graphical representation of slope. So the next bit that I want to show you is graphically, how can you look at slope? Well, again, when you're looking at it, you're thinking rise over run. Okay, so if I have 2 points here, so on this one you can see those 2 points right there. You can pick any 2 points on the line. And then you can find the rise, which is 3, and the run, which is 2. So that line has a slope of 3/2. This next one, again, you can pick any 2 points on the line. I'm going to pick this one and this one. So this time rise is a little bit of a deceptive term because it's not rising, it's falling. So that would actually be going down 2 over 1. So that line has a slope of -2. Because to go from point to point to point down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. Okay, and note it doesn't matter which 2 points you pick. Okay, it would work no matter what 2 points that you use, you're always going to get the same thing. Okay, the same slope. So this one is actually just, again, a brief, quick re-lesson on how to determine slope, because it is going to be very important throughout when we're talking about linear things in this chapter. So make sure you have those notes done, and then you can start working on the worksheet.